wish I could sing like that. You were over there near me. You probably heard me trying to sing like that. Good morning, Unity of Santa Barbara. How are you this morning? Good. So let's get this out of the way. Repeat after me. It's okay to talk back while she's talking to me. Okay? So that you've just been freed. So if you hear something and it sounds like she's talking to me, it's not me, it's the Spirit of God in me reaching you and saying yes. Okay? All right. So we got that out of the way. So nobody's going to get in trouble. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm the senior minister for a New Thought church in Los Angeles called Understanding Principles for Better Living Church. And this church was founded by the late Reverend Dr. Delarice Lett, whom many of you may know through Touched by an Angel. Yes, I had the privilege of being her protege toward the last decade of her life and really got an opportunity to just grow under her and to really learn these principles that I'm going to share with you today. And so if I sound unity, that's also because our movement in the Universal Foundation for Better Living comes out of the unity movement. So it's going to sound like home, okay? All right, but let me tell you what it's going to be mixed with, because I'm also from Houston, Texas, and I was raised Southern Baptist. Praise God for a mama who rejected the fundamentalism. Real talk. She left and she was like, no, okay, I don't know what it means, but I know what they're saying it means is not what it means. So, and that freedom, I feel like I almost went on this journey to find a church that my mom could go to. I feel like that's a little bit of what happened because I kept looking for something. And when I first moved to Los Angeles in 1995, I stumbled into Understanding Principles and I thought, well, this is interesting. I've never had a woman minister. This is different because I grew up where women weren't supposed to preach, right? Whatever. All right. Because that's not the message. You know, you can get on a tangent, let me tell you that. So, but I found this message of radical oneness that talked about the presence and the power of God that indwells us. And that I'm one with that power. I'm not separate. There are no two, there's just one, and I am one with the one. And I was like, well, I'm home. Sign me up for that. Had no idea I was agreeing to become a minister. Let me tell you, I thought I just want to be a licensed teacher because I like teaching. There's a personal high that I get from teaching. I had no idea that I was walking this path. And then one day, Reverend Della said, I'm looking for an assistant minister, and God told me you. Now, mind you, I'm in the entertainment industry, so I was like, well, I know what an assistant does. I'll bring you a coffee. I'll get you the trades. Where are the trades for ministry? I'll bring you the trade, and I'll keep you up on the latest gossip. Like, that's... And so it wasn't until I was like all the way in seminary, and I was like, oh, I'm headed this way. So I just want to give you a little insight into who you're listening to today. So, and I'm gonna tell you another secret. So I didn't know how you guys would deal with like the actual title of my sermon, so I gave you the subtitle. The subtitle is Be Still and Know. But here's the actual title. The actual title is How to Jailbreak Your Self-Imposed Prison. But I didn't know if you got that in your email and you wouldn't show up. So I gave you the subtitle, but the truth that I want to talk to you about today is that we're all living in some kind of self-imposed penal system. And the scripture that I chose was actually Reverend Della's favorite scripture, Psalm 46:10, and it says, "Be still and know that I am God. I am exalted among the nations. I am exalted in the earth." And so I want to talk about the practice of stillness and accessing the power that is within you. So I read this was in May Rowland's Come Ye Apart for a While, amazing little pamphlet. You can find it for free on truthunity.net. But she said, a scientist said that if your hand, and hold your hand out, your hand has enough power in the molecules that if it were released, it could power an entire city. Like we are walking dynamos. And so we have to have a way to get access to the power that is within us, right? And some of us are going to the grave with literally nuclear power plants in us. Right? Unexpressed ideas, unbuilt businesses, unpublished books, unwritten songs, uninvented inventions. And so the practice of stillness is the way that we begin to release this nuclear power that is in us that would change this planet if we would let it. And so my thesis for my sermon, I always have something I want to prove. That's what the teacher told me a thesis was. The way out of our self-created penal system is to go within. The way out of our self-created penal system is to go within. It would seem like it's manipulating things in the outer, but that's the end result. Where we want to work is in the beginning, at the beginning of the equation, not the end result of the equation. Right? 2 + 2 is 4, but I can't do anything about that unless I change the numbers that are being added together. Does that make sense? And so what I want to begin to do, if I am living, if I am walking and I have a book in me that is unpublished, I cannot affect it at the end result. I've got to go back and change it at the beginning, and I've got to deal with whatever the resistance is inside of me. I got to fix it in the equation, not on the other side of the equal sign. Is that making sense? Okay, great. So any freedom that we're going to enjoy outwardly is first going to have to be established inwardly. Each of us is operating in a self-created penal system. We're the perpetrator, we're the prosecuting attorney, we are the defense attorney, we're the bailiff, we're the star witness, we're the warden, we're the jailer, and the jailed. We are every role in there. Many of us are punishing ourselves for mistakes that we made that we don't even fully remember. Not to mention, some people in our lives don't even know about the mistakes. And we're punishing ourselves nonetheless. We're withholding our own good from ourselves for choices that we made when we didn't know better. You wouldn't hold your child accountable for a choice made at a younger age, right? Because a 2-year-old doesn't know the things that an 8-year-old knows, doesn't know the things that a 16-year-old knows. And anyone who is holding a 16-year-old accountable for the choices that they made when they are 2 is called a bad parent. No? Well, you're the parent of the little you. And you made choices at a different level in consciousness, and it is time to free yourself. It's time to, you ever heard of cold cases? They used to have a show about that. I love those procedurals until I realized there are no free images, meaning every show opened with some woman being brutally murdered. And I was like, are you kidding me? I love this show. But I can't take that stuff in. Stupid truth. It's time to retry some of those old cold cases and set ourselves free with restorative justice. You've got to ask the question, who is your God? Who is your God? I love the song. I thought, what a beautiful song of, are you familiar with the master key?
I've heard that. Yeah.
The master key. The master key is at God. What's the answer? God. What's the key? God. God. Anything? God. It's a wonderful pamphlet to pick up. God never punishes. Now, that may sound like, Sherri, you're preaching to the choir, but let me challenge you because that's what I came to do. We have all of these amazing words and new thought, which I think is just awesome. But the challenge that we have is that our lives actually prove what we believe about God. I'm living the truth of what I actually believe about God, not what I told you I believe about God. My life is an unfailing witness. And so God is unchanging, unfailing good. That which appears to be a punishment is nothing more than your misuse of divine law. If you walk off the side of a building, none of you would do that. The divine law of gravity is not punishing you. It's just holding you accountable for that choice. If you fail to give generously, the divine law of giving and receiving doesn't punish you. It just simply holds you accountable for the choice that was made. We are always living in a self-created penal system. It is within our hands to change whatever circumstance that we're operating through. Everything in our world today is an opportunity of an idea that was first conceived in our minds. And so whatever jail you find yourself in, it could be the jail of ill health, it could be the jail of old age, and whatever your definition of old age is. It could be the jail of poverty. It could be the jail of bad relationships. It could be the jail of poor friendships. Whatever jail you find yourself in, the way out, the jail bars, the whatever the apparatus is that's got you seemingly stuck, is broken open through the practice of stillness. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I got 3 points for you. The first point I'm going to give you is my choices make my world. The second point I'm going to give you is that God will give me the right choices to make. And the third I'm going to give you is discipline your mind to be still and know. So point number 1, my choices make my world. So, newsflash, God is always speaking. We don't always think about this. But God is always speaking. Whatever God is ever doing, God is always doing. Simple. But the idea that I'm waiting on a word from God, I'm waiting to hear, it's like, no. God's waiting on you. Whatever the Spirit is ever doing, the Spirit is always doing. And so this perfect power is deep within you. It is there and it is waiting on you. It's waiting on you to unfill your life. I heard this story yesterday in exact, and I thought it was great, so I'm going to try to retell it. So there were these 2 little boys, and they were at their grandmother's house. And they asked Grandma, "Hey, Grandma, how is it that you always say, I hear from God. I give direction to the family based on what I hear from God. How do you get a word from God?" And Grandma said, "Well, could you go get those 2 basketballs that you guys have? We got a hardwood floor down here." And so they look at each other like, wait, get the basketballs? Are we being punked? So they go get the basketballs and they come back downstairs and she says, "Okay, I want to get your sister." And she has the sister stand like in the doorway there. And she says, "All right, sister, what I want you to do is I want you to just call my name." And so they call her Mama. And the little girl says, "Okay, Mama." She said, "I don't want you to stop calling my name. Mama, Mama, Mama." Okay, just say it a little bit lower. "Mama, Mama, Mama." Now she turns to the 2 brothers and she says, "Okay, I want you to start bouncing the basketballs." Okay. So they're bouncing the basketballs on the hardwood floor in the house. And she said, "Can you still hear your sister?" "Mama, Mama, Mama." It's like, "Yeah, I could hear it a little bit, not as much now over the basketball." She said, "Okay." So she turns on the radio, because this is my story. There's a radio, not digital. She turns on the radio, and now there is the radio blaring, and the boys are bouncing the basketball. And you can still see the sister, and she's saying, "Mama, mama, mama. But now the voice is just a little bit fainter because now it's competing with the basketballs and also with the radio. And then she says, well, can you hear? I said, well, yeah, yeah. But now I know what she's saying because I can make out what her lips are saying. And so she goes and puts a teapot on the stove and begins to boil water as if for tea. And that starts to go and starts to whistle through the house. And the little girl is saying, mama, mama, mama. But now they can't hear her because of the din of noise that is happening. But they can make out that there's words because they can see her mouth moving. And so she says, can you hear her now? They're like, no, we can't hear her now. And so she begins to like turn the teapot off, and then the voice becomes a little bit clearer. And finally she says, okay, stop bouncing the balls. And now there's just complete silence. And the little girl is just still saying, mama, mama, mama. And so she says, can you hear her now? Well, yeah, that's how I hear from God. It's that there is this din of noise that is in our lives. And it is interfering with our ability to hear, to perceive. Whatever the Spirit is ever doing, the Spirit is always doing. And so if the Spirit is ever calling your name, the Spirit is always calling your name. There's this beautiful song that says, hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush. We have to give ourselves the gift of silence, where we just take a moment to just get quiet. The only choice that matters in my world is the choice that I'm making. And I have to acknowledge that if I cannot hear or I'm not perceiving the inspiration from Spirit, then I'm choosing to keep my life so full that nothing can get through. There is a level of living where every moment feels like a miracle. There's a level of living where you wake up and you just feel inspired. Every day, not just some days, not just on a good day, every day. That level of living is found through stillness, where the slightest little thing can inspire and spark an idea. What we have to own is that we are the operating power. I am the operating power. If my life is full from end to end, I filled it from end to end. Sometimes we can be in our worlds where we feel like, well, I've got to do this and I've got to do that, and we're not realizing that I'm choosing to do this, I'm choosing to do that, I'm choosing to keep everything so full around me that there is no room for God. Point number 2, God will give me the right choices to make. Sometimes we have this idea that, again, don't go by what you read in the book or what you parrot back out. Look at the life that you are living. Sometimes we are living as if we have been placed on this third rock from the sun and left to figure it out for ourselves. Yes, even us in New Thought. As if it is just, and so we never just ask. And so it's very challenging for us to get that I'm working with a God concept. And my concept of God is not God. It's just my concept of God. And so I've got to throw away the idea that God has just placed me here. Here's a new concept, or here's one that you can think of that may work for you. That God and I are partners in this. That we're doing this thing together. And so I can ask the perfect power within me, what is the right choice to make? For something as simple as, what should I wear today? All the way to, how do I execute this grand project that I've been dreaming of? God doesn't make you guess. if you're guessing it's not God. Now, the path to anything that you desire is going to be paved by your daily habits. It's going to be paved by what you do on a daily basis. How do you get to the Olympics? Well, you got to have some daily habits. Yeah? Do you have to practice? Yes. How long have you been singing?
Since I was 7.
Since you were 7? And you're only 17 now, so a full right. And so how often do you practice?
At least 2 to 3 hours a week, if possible.
If 2 to 3 hours a week, right. And so would it be fair to say that if you could take it up to 5 hours that you would find new levels?
Most definitely.
You are like an onion and it's peeling back layers. There are degrees to you, and each degree gets richer and richer and more individualized. You are not here to keep the status quo. You are here to release the unique you into expression. The more time that you put into what you came to do. Now, your thing may not be singing, but maybe your thing is writing, or maybe your thing is inventing, or maybe your thing is law, or whatever your thing is. But the more time that you put into it, it reveals its secrets to you. You have to spend time with it. George Washington Carver, in the 1900s, I can't remember exactly when, but in the 1900s, worked with the peanut. And in working with the peanut, he brought out of the peanut 300 unique products. The peanut, you ever seen a peanut? See, you only know about peanut butter or peanut oil, but you may not know that there are 300 unique uses, at least, of the peanut. That what happens when you spend time with something is that it reveals its secrets to you. And so part of the stillness is so you can get access to the secrets. The thing to which you give your attention to has untold secrets. And if you will spend time with it, the Spirit will reveal its secrets to you. So here, newsflash, you were, okay. This is so not on the lesson plan. You were not put here to keep the status quo. You were put here to bring forward that which has never been done before. So if you are imitating, it takes time to, when I moved into ministry, it took time to not try to sound like Reverend Della. It took time to not try to sound like Reverend Mary Tumpkin. It took time to just sit in how I show up. I kind of bounce around. That's been doing that. That's just in the family. But you get what I'm saying? It took time to drop into the uniqueness. And so there are layers to you. But if you don't spend time, if you don't put in the time, then those layers never get fleshed out. Each one of you has the ability to be the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the greatest to ever do it at whatever it is that's your thing to do. But you've got to be willing to put in the time to watch yourself, to observe yourself, to get quiet so that you can see yourself. We become what we do every day. And so point number 3, discipline your mind to be still and know. You already know how to get what is in you out into expression. Woody, there are levels of music in you that are waiting. I hope you get this. It's desperate to get out of you into expression. I'm not just picking on you. It's desperate to get out of you into expression, but many of us have not been educated on how to respond to the itch of spirit, and so we respond to it with physical means, and so we try to drink it away. Come on, somebody. We try to eat it away. I haven't been taught how to feel spirit in me, and so I'm trying to quash it down with some kind of physical means, or I'm going to distract it away. I'm going to just watch every program there is. But it is desperate to get out of you. William Blake says, eternity, Biggie, eternity is in love with the creations of time. That when you open up, the Spirit says, yes, I get another pair of hands, I get another pair of feet. Who you think gonna do the work? Everything that the Spirit desires to do must be done through a human form. Some of y'all blocking God. Your greatness in human form. And the Spirit is saying, let me in. Let me in. This is something that Jack Addington wrote at the end of his lesson on Be Still and Know. He said, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am the perfect power within you. Be still and know that I am eternal life living as you. Be still and know that I am divine love expressing in you. Be still and know that I am the fullness of joy within you. Be still and know that I am heavenly peace within you. Be still and know that I am the light of truth within you. Be still and know that I am God, and there is none beside me. And I'm going to leave you with a quote from my favorite author. Now, mind you, he wrote these all in the masculine gender, but I fixed it. There is no stopping the woman who can think from the end. Nothing can stop her. She creates the means and grows her way out of limitation into ever greater and greater mansions of the Lord. It does not matter what she has been or what she is. All that matters is, what does she want? She knows that the world is a manifestation of the mental activity which goes on within herself. So she strives to determine and control the ends from which she thinks. In her imagination, she dwells in the end, confident that she shall dwell there in the flesh also. She puts her whole trust in the feeling of the wish fulfilled and lives by committing herself to that state, for the art of fortune is to tempt her so to do. Like the man at the pool of Bethesda, she is ready for the moving of the waters of imagination, knowing that every desire is ripe grain to her who knows how to think from the end. She is indifferent to mere reasonable probability and confident that through continuous imagination, her assumptions will harden into fact. God bless you. I thought there was another song. Okay. Isn't this message amazing? And I don't mean my message, but I mean this message of oneness. So I want you to get that what you are giving into with your offering is that you are giving into a ministry that is taking this message around the planet. People need this message. You know, when you know how amazing you are, you know what you won't do? Hurt somebody else. So let's take a moment to share however we've come prepared to share. You can donate a couple of different ways. We have unitysb.org. We have Givelify. Oh, I've never heard of that one. I got to look that up. You can give by credit card, but however you give, give. however you give, because you're working a law, and that you are setting in motion a law that must bring back to you whatever it is that you need. And so we give generously. And so if you would repeat after me, divine love through me. Is it that multi? Oh, y'all read it. Okay. All that I am, all that I have, and all that I share. All right. I give in love. Repeat after me. I give in love. And I trust God. Ushers, will you come? Is that how y'all do it? That's not how y'all do it. I should have rehearsed this. Ooh-wee. I hope y'all invite me back.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Oh, peace gives me everything I need. Peace gives me everything I need. Peace gives me everything I need. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Now may I sit down? Yes.
Gray skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face. Wipe off the clouds and clear up. Put on a happy face. Take off the gloomy mask of tragedy. It's not your style. You look so good, you'll be gladly invited to smile. Pick out a pleasant outlook. Stick out that noble chin. Wipe off that full of doubt look. Slap on a happy grin. Spread sunshine all over the place. And just put on a happy face. Happy, ba-da-da, happy face. So, come on everybody, yeah. Now gray skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face. Wipe off the clouds and cheer up. Put on a happy face. Take off the gloomy mask of tragedy. It's not your style. You look so good that you'll be glad that you decided to smile. Pick out a pleasant outlook. Stick out that noble chin. Wipe off that full of doubt look. Slap on a happy grin. Spread sunshine all over the place. And just put on a happy ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da. Put on a happy hey. Yeah. Go in love, everybody. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Amazing. Whew. Really got me fired up. I want to bring up Jeannie West for a moment. We have a very special and important event happening at 11:30 right after the service. So if you'll please come up to share about it. This is our facilitator here, Jeannie West from Hospice of Santa Barbara.
Got the message. I was supposed to be here today. I'm not a member of your faith community, but I am a member of your faith community here today. Thank you, Reverend Sherri. I took notes, and it leads beautifully into why I want to talk to this congregation today. Yes, God is the answer, but we have some important questions to ask ourselves that only we can ask ourselves. Advanced care planning is important because it's up to us to ask the questions and kind of seek some divine answers as to what our choices are. So I thought the 3 points you made, pardon me for writing them down, but I had to. I was just called to. My choices make my world. It is up to you to make choices about your health and your well-being and not leave that decision to family members or others that you never talked to them about. Yes, it's hard, but God's the answer. God will give me the right choices to make. I invite you to stay today to hear the importance of this document, why each of us should have one, and then make it possible for you to get it done. That's my tagline. God's the answer. I'm about getting it done. And then third, discipline. If I had a book of all the reasons that people tell me they have not done their directive, it's not the right time, it's a hard subject to talk about, I don't want to think about health issues or end of life, I sure don't want to think about dying. But if we don't think and talk about it, then it's not going to happen the way we would want it, nor the way God wants it for us. So I invite you, this is a free program. Why did I choose faith communities? For a very important reason. Because when we're hurting and in pain, which so often happens when someone is taken ill by surprise, where do we go for consolation and support? We go to our faith community. So thank you, Unity, SB, Peggy, and Forrest for inviting me, and I welcome you to join me at 11:30 right here. And thank you, Reverend Sherri.
Jeannie mentioned to me before this that this program could potentially save us thousands of dollars oh, mic's on now. Jeannie mentioned to me before this that this program could potentially save us thousands of dollars in, they take the advanced directives directly to hospice. They bring a notary here on the second workshop. So please come, please join. I have one set up for myself. We believe everybody should, so we'll see you there. On July 31st, we're having Vision Sunday. That's only 2 or 3 weeks away now. And so that's about really going within and asking ourselves, what do we want this center to be? What is our spiritual home? What are we creating here as a collective consciousness, as a collective community? So July 31st, you'll be hearing a lot more about that on Sundays. It's a Sunday service that we're doing that with. There is a setup of chairs and tables outside. If you're new here, if you want to mix and mingle and commune and share space with one another, there are so many snacks I see out there. There's so many tables, so come enjoy yourself. The bookstore is now open. It's that way, right there where the offices are, where the Unity offices are. We're accepting book donations. If you have any books sitting around that you no longer want or use, then you're welcome to absolutely donate them here, and we'll graciously and thankfully receive them. At the Fountain Courtyard, again, Dr. Jim Quacco is our prayer chaplain for the morning. You can go there. There's a prayer box. We have a large prayer team that responds to prayer requests. You can also find a request form on our website at unitysb.org. If you'd like to honor a person, place, pet, or life event with a flower dedication, you may contact Peggy Haskell. Peggy? This is Peggy, our beloved Peggy. Or you can reach her at peggy@unitysb.org. She will be at the welcome table outside these doors, right across these windows. You can also speak with her about volunteering. We are looking for volunteers, and Peggy has a list of openings, positions that we have available if that is something that you feel called towards doing. Office hours. Again, Tuesdays through Thursdays, 11 to 3. We are here open 11 to 3, Tuesdays through Thursdays. And lastly, I would like to share that I was asked to share about a celebration of life for David Nye, who used to be a big part of this community. It's on Saturday, July 16th at 1:30 p.m. at Manning Park on San Ysidro Road in Montecito. It's a potluck. You'll be hearing some more information, and 1:30 p.m. Manning Park on San Ysidro Road. Is it this Saturday, July 16th? July 16th. All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you outside.
Okay. Did not practice this part either, but I do know the words. Let us stand. And if you feel comfortable, you can gather hands. And you're going to back me up on this one, right? You got me? Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, all right. Because I don't have a mic. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. I place you lovingly in the hands of God, knowing that this power, this presence knows exactly what you need. I bless you to go be God in action. I bless you to live out the divine call on your experience. Let's take our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yes.
you.